Alright guys, I've got the filler blocked out and DA sanded around here. I started with 180 on the DA just to knock it down pretty good. Then I took 180 on a wide block, one of these. About 2.5 inch block. Could have done it with a smaller one, I just like the bigger one. Easier to get a grip on. Blocked it in this direction, since the flat area is this way, at least lengthwise. And I've sanded in here also because I'm going to have to prime this. I don't want to prime the filler cap. So I sanded in there so the primer will stick. I could tape this off, which I may still do, but I sanded it anyway. So anything that falls inside this edge will stick. I'm going to stay away from the raw plastic, but I'm going to wipe everything else down with Final Clean prep solvent. I sanded through that scratch right there, so I had to go ahead and sand a little further out than I wanted to. I'm going to try to blend this. This is the only area right here really where it's going to have to match. The gate comes down here, but it's almost a 90-degree angle to this, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'd like to blend it over into here and just keep this butt match here at the quarter left alone as much as I can, just clear the whole thing. So I've got inside here sanded. I'm not worried about that for the primer to go on it, but I went ahead and did that while I had the scuff pad out. Got this ready for primer to land into this and this right here so it'll feather. And basically I'll prime this whole area on the end over into here somewhere. Wherever I stop it here, I'll just feather it in and then I'll just put a little bit over this area. I don't want to prime this whole half of the bumper. It's just a waste of material. But this is prepped for the paint job actually, and I'll come back and finish all this with gray pad, probably some scuff paste. I want to get this nice and sanded so everything will stick really well. Right now I'm going to wipe down with prep solvent all this area, and I'm just going to try to skip over the raw plastic and just blow it off really well. And I also took a fiberglass pen and sanded right down to this little groove of this edge. I'm going to come back and I'm going to tape off that edge so I don't cover all this in here with primer. I'll get paint on it later, but I don't like putting primer anywhere it's not supposed to be, or don't need it anyway. That's just more I have to go back and sand. So I'm going to wipe it down now. Once that solvent flashes off, I'm going to get some adhesion promoter and hit the plastic there and this whole area. And then I'll let that sit 15 minutes and I'll come back with the urethane primer over that. All right, I'm getting ready to put the adhesion promoter on. I'm going to tack this really well. It's got a ton of static in it. And spray that on this area and that scratch over there. And while that's flashing off, I'm going to mask off all these flanges around the outside to keep primer off that and this back piece by the jamb and that edge back there I was talking about. I don't want to get primer in all this. Plus it'll just make the pieces tighter fit. They're already tight enough. I'm going to go ahead and tack this off, get some adhesion promoter out, spray that on, and let it sit for 15 minutes. I almost need to use a static control wipe on this. Just from rubbing on this plastic, it took every bit of the lint out of my paper towel and just held it on the surface. This should be okay for the primer because I'm gonna have all that sanded out. Any light dust in that will get sanded out of the primer. Just trying to keep as much as I can out. I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes and come back with the second medium coat. That's what they recommend. And after that second coat, it'll sit for 15 minutes. And I'll get the primer mixed up while it's flashing. Alright, I'm getting ready to put the first coat of primer on. The adhesion promoter's been on for 15 minutes. It's about 55 degrees in here. I'm going to spray this first coat on and then I'm going to go turn the heater on. This way this first coat won't dry too quickly. I can get it on there without the heat on it. And when it's few minutes into its flash, I'll turn the heat on, and then that'll warm everything up for this second and third coat. I don't want to get it too warm in here. I've got a 60 to 70 degree activator, but the heat will come in this direction. I'll have it blowing this way, so I don't want to get it too hot. All right, first coat. This will go all the way out, and I'll step my coats in just to the bodywork. Alright, that was about a medium coat. I didn't put a full wet one on yet. I don't want to put that directly onto the plastic while it's solvent in it. I'll give that about 15 minutes. Since it's so cool, I'm going to go turn the heater on in about 4 or 5 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'll recoat it. Do 3 coats. Second coat will come in a couple inches from that edge, and then the third coat will be just over that bodywork. Alright, I've got it ready to paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down one more time, then tack it off, spray the left half of the bumper and a little bit into the primer here on this side with adhesion promoter. This is 222S Chromax. And I'll come back with base coat. I'm not going to do any sealer here because I'm going to just cover it and blend it as I go. That'll speed it up too. So I'm going to spray that on, let it flash about 2 or 3 minutes while I mix up the base. Come back and put enough coats on this right side to get it covered. Probably going to take 3. After I wiped it down, I had to go over with a static control wipe. The static is absolutely crazy today. Humidity's down in like about 30%. So now that that's dried off, I lightly tacked it just to not put much static back in it, but I had to tack a little bit of dust out. I'm going to put the adhesion promoter on the left 2/3 of it there. I'll be back with some base coat. Really needed to have dark sealer down, but I didn't want to have to do that where I couldn't blend. So I'm just going to put as much base on this end as I need. You can still see straight through it right now, but I'll do up to 3, maybe 4 coats, 3 and a drop coat, and that should be good. All right, it's time for clear on this. I'm going to give it 2 coats of Chroma Clear. This little speck of white trash right in the center. I'm going to grab that and then recoat it. This is after about a 10-minute flash. It's got 2 coats on it. I'm having to fight trash today. I don't know what the deal is. It just be that since I got that heater running today, it's so cold. It was in the upper 20s last night here, and it warmed up to about 50, maybe a little bit more today. But I'm having trouble catching up on heat, trying to get this garage warm and keep up with the cool air I'm pulling in. That's where the repair was, right in there. Right there was the repair. No sign of it now. See you later. All right, Minnie's ready to go. Here's a final walk around of it. That's the blend area where that's still all the original color in this end. Color matched really well over here at the butt match. See, this is what I was talking about having almost a 90-degree angle change here. You see how this lightens up and this is still dark. That's why I wasn't worried too much about exact color match, but I think it is almost exact. That's where the repair was, right in there. No sign of that. You ought to be happy with this one. See you on the next one.